Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome back to Meadowgrove. So, what is going on? It is the day after the next day. It's the day after the next day after the last episode that we did, and we have got, let me see, where to begin, as always, where to begin. So we've got about, maybe another third, maybe another 40% of the silage in the pit has been taken down to the BGA, and we'll get paid for it at midnight, so I wanted to actually wait. It's going on, it's just after 7 p.m. But I wanted to wait until you were all here, until we were recording. I'll skip the night so we can see what we get paid for that, because I love seeing those big amounts come in. And we also, now out here, you remember, we had a little tank. We had a little tank over here that we had placed. And of course, placeables work so well in FS19. It disappeared, and it bugged out the game, and it crashed it, and I had to recover it, and my save game disappeared, and oh game. So what I did was I brought this up here. I know this works. It's not a placeable. It's just a vehicle. It's just a trailer, and I know it works. So thanks, Giants. And what else is going on? Oh, I can tell you this too. We inadvertently bought Field 2 when we bought this farm down here to see if we could have access to, right, the what do you call it? The auger, the stored grain. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling for my words right there. It turns out we didn't need to buy it. We were able to get our grain from this farm down here, but now we can't sell this because it has placeables. So I went ahead and harvested this field. It had wheat in it. I harvested this field. Now, when we sell our silage momentarily, we're going to have close to €500,000 because we only rented that truck. And we'll have to decide what it is that we want to do next. We've got options. We'll decide. I'm going to open this gate because we'll be coming through here. You know what? No, I won't, because we won't be coming through here till tomorrow morning, right? I mean, it won't really be tomorrow morning, but you know what I mean. We're gonna play realistically, because that's what we do. We're going to close all our gates. We're going to shut the farm down for the night. We're going to send the dog out, tell him to keep an eye on things, and we're going to get some sleep, and then we'll pick it up in the morning and head down the hill. Now, I am curious how that big truck is going to do on these narrow lanes, but I think we're going to do okay. So, first things first, let us close this gate as well. All right. For some reason, I'm thinking that's a contractor, because we're never going to own that truck. I feel like we paid that contractor to come out here and do this, and he's going to crash at our place tonight and get up bright and early, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. I know that's not bright and early by farmer standards, but that's pretty early. €214,000. Holy smokes. I'll take it. So we're sitting on 400,000K. You know, we have so much money now that money is not a problem. Money is so much not a problem that it's almost a problem now, because we have so much money. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, now what do? We have everything we want. We have everything we need as far as equipment, maybe some little stuff. We could buy fields. We could buy animals. Moment, please. That is crazy loud in my headset. There we go. We could buy fields. We could buy animals. I think that's going to be, because we really don't need much more in the way of equipment. And there's no bigger equipment to get because we couldn't really use it on this map anyway. There's a tractor. There's a JCB 8000 that I made some changes to that I really like, but I think it's way too big for this map. I think the smallest engine you could get in it is like 250 horsepower. It's pretty big. It's pretty big. So, I don't know. Oh, and also this field right here to our left that had soybeans in it, we harvested that as well. I harvested that off camera. So all of our fields are in, and because we don't have seasons and we are using the growth control mod, nothing's going to happen until we make it happen. So we've got a couple days to sort of decide something. Now, I noticed something. When I was down here selling silage, I got into kind of a rhythm. And I would move the time compression back and forth between 5x and 15x. And if I did that just right, every time I got down here, there was about 23,000 liters left in the hopper. My trailer holds 26,000, right? Combine those two, you get 50,000. So essentially, every time I came down here, there was enough room for me to dump one whole trailer in. and I was trying to work the time compression so that in the time it took me to drive up the hill, load up again, and come back down here, when I got here again, it would once again be at approximately 23,000. And that worked for many, many cycles. And then I came down here and it was at like 7,000. So I slowed the time down. Let me square this off a little bit. It's kind of bugging me. I came down the hill and it was at like 7,000. It had gone through the silage that we had dumped in there very, very quickly. And I double checked. I did not have the time like radically compressed or anything. There it is. I just barely missed the trigger. Now we'll fill it. Digestate, 209,000 liters. This is my question. This is my question because I feel like after we got to a certain level of digestate, that it was going through the silage quicker. Now, we still got paid. We got over 200,000 euro for both of our days of taking silage down here. So I'm not really worried about the money. I think we did okay on money, but I worry that by putting silage in there and asking the BGA to process it when the digestate tank was at capacity, that we essentially lost a little bit of digestate that did not get made because there was no place to put it. Maybe. I'm wondering if that's a possibility. And the thing is, we're so rich now that it doesn't even matter. We've got our slurry and digestate purchase point. We can just go buy some. We have so much money, and that's what I was saying when we were up at the farmhouse last night. We have so much money that not only is it not a problem, but then it goes all the way through and becomes a problem again because it's like, what are our goals now? We can just do whatever we want. What do we have to work toward? So, things like owning every field on the map or, having every field on the map planted simultaneously, that's never really been my jam. So we'll have to decide what it is that we want to do. But I don't want to get caught up in things like, maybe we lost 100,000 liters of digestate that we could have produced because the tank was too full or something like that. What value does that have for us? Well, it's digestate that we don't have to buy. It's fertilizer that we don't have to buy, pellet fert, and that's my main reason for making digestate. Obviously, we get paid for selling silage at the BGA, but I like making digestate because then we don't have to buy fertilizer. Right. Now, I feel like if we sort of juke to the right here, we're going to end up in some kind of an Austin Powers situation. I think our best bet is actually to go to the left and kind of snake through the yard. I feel like even though it's more turns, there's more room to make them. So I think this is the way to go. I could be completely wrong. Would not be the first time. So we will come over here. Hop back in here. Get a good view of the action. Brake is off. And here we go. Oh, that was a piece of cake. I thought that was going to be a lot more drama. And instead it was sort of a non-event. Okay. Now we're going to go right in here. Same thing. Same thing. Oh, this one's a little tighter. Oh, we're scraping, but not terribly. Steering axle. Beautiful. Right through there. And through here. Yep, that was the only place that I was worried about. I think from here it's going to be pretty smooth. Yep, right through there. Good. Here's some gates. Get these open. I have to tell you, I was a little bit hot because I started recording this video. Everything that we've done so far, I've actually done once already. And I got all the way up here. And my tank that I installed, not only did I install it, but I went in and doctored the textures to make it prettier. I came up here and it's gone. The tank is just gone. It's, oh, all right, fine. I'll place it again. And then the game starts going all haywire saying, you've already placed one, you can't place another one. Not only is it gone, but there's also, when it indicates the volume that I have, like the number of that placeable that I own, it's 0. And then when I look in my garage at things that I own, it's not in there. So something was bugged out and just, oh, game. It's always something. It's always something. And I fully realize, and I will readily admit that it is the mods. It always is. I get that. All right, we're going to overload. And I believe this thing holds 50,000. This is what I would like to do. This holds 50,000. This truck right here holds 30,000, which means if we go down the hill one more time and come back up the hill with another load, we can have this thing full, and then we can overload our tanker directly into the Abbey, and we'll do a little bit of spraying. Do a little bit of spreading. Beautiful. There you go. There's one. And you know, the thing about mods, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But if you want to take all the mods out of your mod folder, if you want to play Ravenport with the Anderson DLC, you have at it. I think I would go crazy if I had to do that. However, the game would be stable. So it's that's a tricky kind of dilemma, you know, because I know these mod makers want there to be mods for their game. That's why they offer mod support, right? It's why they make it. They offer tutorials for modders. They have a mod download panel in the game. Of course, they want there to be mods. But then when those mods break the game, the developers can say, "Hey, it's not us. Our game is stable. It's all those mods you're running." Yeah, but you know, if we weren't running mods, we also wouldn't be playing your game. So, bit of a catch-22. What can you do? What can you do? As long as my ratio of gameplay to fixing my game is higher than like 7-to-1, 8-to-1, I'm okay. When it gets down to like 2-to-1, you know what I'm talking about? For every 2 hours that you play the game, you spend an hour trying to make it work. When it gets down to those kinds of numbers, at a certain point, it's like, man, this isn't even worth it. This isn't even worth it. So that's what's going on there. But for the time being, it seems to be holding together. Always a miracle. And both my profiles in Truck Sim, ETS and ATS, I managed to like drag both my profiles forward to 1.35. They're both holding together, but I got my fingers crossed. Oh man, it's always something in PC world. What else is going on? E3 is going on, and one of my favorite YouTubers is a guy named Massive G. He has, no doubt, the best pipe in YouTube. If not all of YouTube, then certainly for gaming. The guy just has an unbelievable voice. And he's at E3. He's recording from E3. He's recording the new Ghost Recon. I think it's called Breakpoint or Breaking Point. Interesting take on Ghost Recon. It's almost like the survival mode from The Division. We'll see. I don't think I'm going to get it. I don't think I'm ever going to play it, but it is an interesting concept. So he's recording from E3, I assume in a hotel room or possibly in a studio that Ubisoft allowed him the use of. Who knows? But regardless, he's getting his thing going, and he says he has to apologize for the audio quality because he's recording on a USB microphone. And it's like, oh, stick a knife in my heart, Massive G. I recorded my first videos on a headset, and then I moved up. I made it to the big time. I got myself a Blue Yeti, and here's this guy. I assume he's talking about a Pro mic, XLR connections, phantom power, you know, all that stuff. And I was in the band when I was a kid, so I know all about that sort of setup. I have no problem with it, other than you need to get a special interface between an XLR mic and USB. You have to find a way to get USB into a computer at some point. And I mean, you can run straight into a digital mixing console and then output via USB. There's a ton of things you can do, but they all take up space, and they're all honestly pretty goddamn expensive. So, you know, my Blue Yeti wasn't a fortune, but it's the most I've ever paid for a microphone. So the idea of, you know, spending $1,000 for a microphone plus the associated equipment and then hauling it around the world with me as I travel and make these videos, I don't know, man. Not quite there yet. You know, if money fell from the sky, if money rained down from heaven, maybe I would do that. But until then, I'm more than happy with my Blue Yeti. Don't. Oh. Oh, we just squeeze it through there, grease it through there. I love it. So, yeah, that was... But you know what? Everything is relative. It really, really is. Everything is relative. We just jumped to a new week in Season 3 in iRacing. And I'm getting more familiar with more and more of the tracks because I've got more and more laps on them. But it's still, you know, you go out and... Or I go out. I would say you. You or we. I'm not talking about you or we. I'm talking about me. I go out and I turn a lap that, like, I'm absolutely driving off my ass. I'm going way, way too fast. I'm barely hanging onto the car. I set a new personal best for that track, right? And I pull into the pit and I take a look at the live timing, and first place is I'm 3 seconds behind them. And it's like, man, I can't drive this car any faster. How do you do that? And the thing is that everything's relative. Everything is relative in life. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you do. There's always somebody that's going to do it better than you. And even if somehow you manage to do it better than anybody for a time, they'll be coming for you, and then they'll do it better than you. And that's just the way life goes. So it's you know, it's always going to be something. And I would like to think, on some level, as much as I complain about video games and this, that, and the other, I'd like to hope I've made some kind of... Oh, I got to smooth that out. I'd like to think I've made some kind of peace with the frustrations and inequities of the world. Who knows? Who knows? Right. I don't need to come back through here, so we can actually leave this parked here for a minute. We're going to hop out, and I think the first thing we'll do is get in our little Ford, which is really not that little. We're getting our little Ford, and let's throw some slurry on our soybean field right over here. Oh, yeah, look how... I thought I had smoothed that out. Oh, well. All right. I'll get to work on that off camera. So, right over here, right beyond this hedge. No, other way. Right there. Right there. Right there is a soybean field, and we will get some digestate going in there. And I believe we can just... I don't think we need to do anything with hoses. I think we could just pull up next to this portable tank and fill up directly from here. I think. You're right about here. Sure can. Okay. And this, depending on how far this slurry goes, I keep saying slurry, how far this digestate goes for yonder field. I mean, oh, don't hit the seed tank. I guess we could just keep this thing full. Could we not? We could also, perhaps we could buy a little bit if we had to. I think we're better off just keeping it full. But at the moment, I think it is a bit excessive to consider buying a truck. That's too big for our farm, is it not? I think it is. Let me slow down the cruise control just a little bit. How fast would we be going? Let's say 15 kilometers an hour. We'll get that going right there. We're going to get this going right here. Beautiful. And yeah, I have no real estimate of how far this stuff will go. We've got, what did we say? 50,000 liters in there, 5,000 in here. Well, yeah, a total of 60,000 because we brought up 2 of 30. So let's see how far 60,000 liters goes. And we'll go from there. If I could get... Wow, it's actually going really, really far. We're barely using any. That seems... you know what I'm saying? Pretty generous. Pretty generous. Let's bump it up a little bit. I've got the variable spray rate. I don't know. I mean, I'm all about economizing, but I also want it to be realistic. I don't want to, like... You know what I'm saying? I don't want to cheat the game. That's no fun. So if we go there... and then right back over here. And then right here, yeah. Once again, I have no idea if this is like some type of approved farmer technique. I don't know. I just do what makes the most sense. About like there. Put this little bit in the corner right here. Like so. And we'll head down here. You know, I don't know if the placeable errors that I had have anything to do with the 1.4 update. Somebody asked me that on Discord. Possibly. And again, you know, I guess a middle ground. Like I say, if you want your game to run stable, don't run mods. There is a middle ground, and that middle ground is just run mods that you get from the mod hub. Reason being is they're tested, and I believe they have, you know, they've been vetted. There's some type of something to give you an indication that you're getting like a legit product and not just, you know, on Peterville, on the Peterville map, which, oh God, I have tried and tried to make Peterville videos. I've got 2, and I swear I've recorded like 7 more that you'll never see because it just, something about that map, it just does not work well for videos. I don't know what it is. But there was a Zarian 3800 that I saw, and I thought, oh, I like that tractor. I had that in 17, so I went ahead and downloaded the mod, and I realized, like, oh, that's the one I had from 17. Not, that's the one I had from 17 converted to 19. That's the one from 17. All they did was put a 19 in place of 17 and swap over the version number in the mod desk file. But they hadn't changed anything else. I opened the thing in Giants Editor, and it was like a hand came out of my laptop and punched me in the face. They hadn't even attempted to convert it. It wasn't a bad conversion. It was no conversion. And you won't get that from the mod hub. You won't get that sort of thing. So there is a middle ground. You know, when I say, oh, the only way you're going to have a stable game is if you don't run mods at all. Nah, that's not exactly true. You can only run mods from the mod hub. Granted, you'll have a lot less of them, but you won't have those kinds of problems. So I did not get that placeable digestate, placeable slurry tank setup. I did not get that from the mod hub. And it's entirely possible that it's not 1.4, that it's not, you know, this or it's not that it's just a mod conflict from me running some unapproved whatnot. Right, we have done this entire field and we have used 2% of what we had in here. We need to bump this up a little bit. This is ridiculous. So let's go to 250 liters per hectare. Still seems low. Now this is a mod. This is by 4D modding, and I don't know what they've set their usage at. I've believed for a long time that Giants has unrealistically high usage, but again, you know, we do need to compress everything. You can't, I learned this from Truck Sim, you can't just compress some things in a game because it throws everything else off. If you compress time, you also have to compress money. And when you think about something like digestate or slurry or what have you, that's a representation of both time and money, right? Because you spend time to get it, or you can buy it with money. So you see what I mean? If you compress some things but not other things, are those lights on? My day is going from bad to worse. What's going on here? No, they're not. Okay. Oh, but these are on. Oh, my goodness. Hang on. I've turned these off, I'd say approximately 1,000 times. They just keep turning back on. Right. So we'll get this started. You want to call it? Yeah, let's call it. Let's do this. Other way, son. Let's do this. Let's put this on a worker, and then we will take the... where do you want... let's do that. We'll refill the slurry tank. We don't even have to. We'll just take our Abbey tanker. We'll take our slurry tanker down to field 2. We'll get it started there, and we'll call it. That'll be the end of the episode. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Now, this may work. This may not. All right. Straighten her out. Straighten her out. I want a dumb worker. I do not want a smart worker. I've got a dumb worker on there. I'm going to tell him to turn that way. All right. Speed is good. Go to work. And there they go. Beautiful. Right to the slurry tanker. Right around here. And yeah, I mean, I think that's a little bit low. That's a little bit low. But we'll figure it out. Right. Turn that off. Here we go. What field are we going to? Field... we can cut down this way. Cut through our little gate here. All right. Set the brake. Out we go. Open the gate. Right in here. Stop that right there. Set the brake. Back out. Close the gate. I got a thing about gates, man. You know I do. That's that OCD. Right back in there. Here we go. Zoom in a little bit. And I think field 2 is, at the moment, the biggest field we own. So I'm not sure what to put in here now. You know, soybeans have been good to us so far. There's supposed to be, I read this about 19 before it came out, they're supposed to be a little bit more mindful of the economy, that you can't just keep growing the same crop over and over. It's not exactly crop rotation, but they are sort of trying to encourage you to mix it up a little bit. So maybe we'll go half and half canola. I don't know. This field had wheat in it, and I did not make a swath just because I didn't feel like baling. And I really didn't think we'd get that much money for the bales anyway. Right? That's the problem with that silage. And you know, are we doing it wrong? I've always felt, going back to 15, I've always felt like silage was such easy money that that's something you should work up to, and that should almost be like end game. You know, like if it happens too soon, is that even fair? Because we just don't need money anymore. And if we ever do need money, do 2 cuts of grass, right? And there's another 600,000 euro. Right. Now, here's our last test. Can we put this on a worker? We want a dumb worker. We're going to go in lengths, right? Go. Looks like a worker to me. I'm going to close this gate. I'm going to turn off the HUD. And we're going to follow this tractor for a minute, get a screenshot, and call it good. Where's the sun? Beautiful. There's the sun. Which means this is going to be our screenshot. Sure is. There you go. There you have it. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 19. This is Meadowgrove Farm. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.